they started to going up to the mess hall about 11:30 over at the other place.
Mhm.
And we'd be there, everybody'd be there by 12 o'clock. And it would be between 12:30 and 1 before we did a meal.
At college?
No, that was at the other nursing home I was at, coming over here before I came over here.
Oh, we're at today. Okay.
Oh yeah, we didn't have any control over when we got to eat or when we didn't.
Wow.
And it was really hard to get all of your exercise and stuff in before lunchtime, you know. I
Yeah, I
mean,
bet.
to get any in before lunchtime and to get any in the afternoon, because sometimes it'd be 1:30 before we'd be finished eating, or later. But by 12 o'clock, we were finished here.
Wow. But not at this place.
Huh?
But not here.
Well, yeah, just about 12, but
Oh, okay.
you ought to be, you ought to have your meal and you're by 12:30, you ought to be pretty close to finished.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, and then you've got a good 15-minute break before somebody come and get you for one to go to do
Work out.
something on at 1 o'clock.
Wow. Huh. So, you were how old when you enlisted? You enlisted, right?
Yeah,
How old were you then? What year?
it's 38, so 38, 14 from
24.
38. Huh?
24.
24, well that's when I shipped in. I would have been 24 March the 25th, April the 20th. That's how much I liked being 24.
So, did you enlist because you wanted to, or why? What's the
Well,
story?
in a sense, I had tried to enlist in the Army, and they wouldn't take me for some reason, in the Navy, and they wouldn't care about taking me for some reason. And in the Marine Corps, the only thing they said about it was that I was a quarter of an inch too high. I said, screech down a level. So that's the reason I went in the Marine Corps.
Because you were the right height?
Well, I was too tall, really. See, they didn't. Well, when you go aboard ship, you have to duck to go through the hatches, and I was always ducking to get through the hatches. So, you know, others, they just stand up and walk through, you know, but I would always duck.
So, what was it like going to boot camp? You had to go?
Well, I'll tell you what, boot camp was a strange situation. See, we didn't have but about 17,000 men in the Marine Corps
Wow.
to start with. And that's the reason that I made, you know, a grade almost every year till I made Master Sergeant. And because we had 6 divisions when before the war was over. So we increased from, say, 13,000 to 6 divisions.
Wow.
That's a lot of growth. Well, when I went in, boot camp was only 15 days.
What'd you do in 15 days?
Learned how to drill, and that's just about what we did, see. And then we went to the rifle range and spent 2 weeks and fired the range. Now, I was used to using a 22 target, and I wasn't used to missing a shot. And when I went out there and started firing the range, they gave me a 03 rifle, and that 03, see, I was shooting a little target, a little cartridge about this long, lead and everything, and that one was about this long, and the end was just a little bigger than the other target, I mean the other one, but you had that much more powder in there. So it kicked, and it made my shoulder sore. I wasn't used to having to worry about something kicking because the 22 didn't kick. We always used short, the 22 shorts, that's the least amount of power that it had. And boy, I was, most of the time, whenever I brought any game home, it was shot through the head.
Yeah. But you liked the target practice and all that stuff?
Oh, I liked that too. But I was messing up on the, because I didn't make expert rifle until my second cruise, and the reason was I had a coach in boot camp that was the rifleman of the Marine Corps at the time. He was the best shot in the Marine Corps. They intended for him to hit the bullet, hit the black eye of the target at 1,000 yards 9 out of 10 times.
And he was your coach?
No, he was on the rifle team.
Wow.
And that's what they expected him to do. And he was expecting me to do better than I did. And of all the things he told me and all the things that I learned, it took me till the second enlistment before I made expert. And then, see, when you're shooting at a target, and you know, in the first place, my arm was too long for the rifle. You see, they made the rifle so if you were 5 foot tall, or if you were 6 foot tall, 6'2", you use the same rifle. Well, your arm's not the same length. There's that much difference in the length of your arm. So you got that much play up here to hammer your shoulder. Every time you pull the trigger, you get hit.
Oh. Wow.
So, and if you were to be firing an 03, say, or one of the major weapons and not holding it down here, see, that'll keep you from getting shoulder hurt. If you had it up here, then you'd have that bouncing all hitting you right, just hammering your shoulder. See?
Yeah.
And the other way, you didn't have that hammering going on. You got it down here and you just bounce back this way. But if you notice, when people are having their picture made and they're firing down here,
Yeah.
you know,
So it doesn't hit the shoulder.
so it doesn't make the shoulder sore. If it had it up here, you could see where you were shooting, and that's the reason they're swinging back and forth.
Because the aim wasn't very good.
Well, because they wasn't really aiming this
Yeah.
way to shoot directly at of somebody. But if they moved it back and forth, and that one over here moves his back and forth, and one over here does the same thing, you're just cutting off the fence.
Yeah. Wow. I never thought of that.
You're just cutting them down. They'd have to fall to keep from getting killed,
Wow.
or at least wounded, so they couldn't function anymore, temporarily anyway.
So
They
you-
might
oh,
go-
go ahead.
They might go to hospital and get well and come back, but that would have been the way that would have had to have been done.
So World War II officially started in 1939 in Europe. How aware were y'all of like Hitler and all that stuff?
Well, we were aware of it, but we didn't think. Well, my thinking was when World War I was going, 11 months after we went over there, the war was over.
Mm.
See? Well, I was thinking, well, it ought to be over pretty soon, you know? So I extended for 2 years. I thought I wanted to get out when I wanted to. I didn't want to be kicked out when they got finished. So I just extended for 2 years.
Till 1940? You extended till 1940?
30, well, I signed up for 4
Yeah.
to begin
Oh,
with.
okay.
So that would have been 42,
And then extended
38 to 42. And then in 42, I was way down in the Pacific, see?
Yeah.
So I shipped over.
So when y'all heard about like all this stuff in Europe back in like the late 30s, what did y'all hear? What were y'all thinking about?
Well, we were thinking then, after I got in, and not even, well, I guess I did before, by the time we got married, I guess if we'd waited till I had to ship over, we probably wouldn't have got married then.
Mm.
See, because I had made sergeant, but just a few, 2 or 3 or 4 months before
You
I
had to
shipped
go.
out. And if I knew I was going to be gone for 2 years or thought I was going to be gone for a long time, we wouldn't have gotten married and just go off and leave early. I couldn't do that.
Mm.
I just wouldn't thought of it.
So when you were shipped off, how long did you think you were going to be gone?
Well, I didn't. Well, whenever
Yeah.
we shipped out, we figured the war would be over. over before.